Kia ora. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Renee. I like to read books and then talk about them on the internet. Hello, welcome. It's Sunday and we're vlogging. We're starting a vlog. Lately I have not been happy with my reading and have actually fallen into some really bad habits, i.e. TikTok, and yeah, have kind of just been wasting a lot of time on that app and being quite distracted in general and not really prioritizing reading, and I don't like the way that that's kind of made me feel. It's kind of done something to my mental health a little bit, I think, as well. So I am attempting to change that this week by giving myself something to focus on. So a vlog was needed, but also I think a little challenge within that as well, to have something else to focus on. So I thought that it would be a fun idea to read some tiny books. We love tinies on this channel, and they've always been a relatively good way for myself to get out of a reading slump, feel quite accomplished and just zip through things. So I thought they might be able to help me again this time. So yeah, that's what we're going to do this week. I am not going to force myself to read all of these in a week. We're just going to see how it goes, but I kind of picked these books just as a way of having like a bit of a pile to pull from, and we'll just see how far we get, I guess. The plan is to try and read as many of these as we can, though. I might just sit here, read the blurbs properly, and then decide what I want. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, I've decided to go with In the Act by Rachel Ingalls, just because it sounds like it's supposed to be quite absurd, and I think I need something a little kind of wacky and crazy and fun to start. And it's only 60 pages, so I'm kind of hoping I can smash this out now. And then I just was also continuing to read some more of these poems as I was reading the blurbs, and yeah, I think I could almost finish this today as well, so maybe this is going to be a successful week. I will not speak too soon, because these other books potentially could be quite heavy. They all sound really good. I think I've picked really good books, to be honest, and once I've finished these two, I'm not really sure where I'll go next. The Employees, that sounds like a bit of fun. Keep our heads level and not get too crazy ahead of ourselves. And yeah, I'm just going to start this and see how far I get before dinner. Hi, it's Monday. I really could do with like just a few more hours in bed. Just eyes closed, don't have to get up, that kind of thing. It's Monday. It is a Monday, and it be Mondaying hard. I finished In the Act last night by Rachel Ingalls. What a fun book. Let me talk you through it. It was great. I loved it. It was definitely a strong start to this little reading challenge. It was nice to be able to just sit down in one go and read a book. Actually, we kind of read it before dinner and then finished it after. But yeah, really fun, but still like exploring and commenting on some kind of interesting topics for me at this point in my life. Yeah, it's kind of speaking to marriage, the kind of complacency that couples fall into after very long periods of being married. Kind of traditional expected roles within those marriages, particularly towards the wife or woman. Some really interesting and funny and hilarious ideas around a man's kind of ideal woman. The plot of the book I don't want to talk about too much because I don't want to give too much away. I think the fun of it is kind of going into it quite blind. Yeah, it's just really fun and I really loved it. And I would recommend it. I'm looking forward to reading Mrs. Caliban now because from what I've heard about that book, it could be kind of like similar themes. I know that it centers around a housewife, but it also has like a frog man in it maybe. Anyway, this was fun and hilarious and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, we've done one book, which is great. Feeling good about that. And I am going to read some more poetry this morning. I read some more of this last night and I got to page 35. There's like sections, so I'm up to section 2. And yeah, really enjoying this now. Yeah, it's definitely about, I guess, young female Māori identity. It's about Tayi Tibble's own family. She's reflecting on what it is like to grow up Māori, but perhaps learn about certain traditions throughout your life and kind of those experiences and what that is like, which, you know, familiar, absolutely. I loved the poem about her mum. It's called Ode to Johnsonville's Cindy Crawford. People used to call her mum Cindy Crawford because she had a mole just above her lip and below her nose. So yeah, I thought that was really beautiful and kind of the ways in which she hopes to be like her. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I'm going to read some more of these while I have my breakfast. And then I think, because this is like a bit of a, not a book that I think I want to try to read at work today. I might take The Employees with me. Although, does anyone have a thing about like starting a book in public? I don't know what it is, but I have to start a book at home. I have to start a book in a quiet, private place because starting a book in public just, for me, seems like kind of embarrassing. I don't know. I can't quite explain it, but just like opening a book for the first time and then like, it's like, oh, that person doesn't actually read. They're just trying it out for the first time. That's what it kind of looks like, or that's how I feel I would look. But maybe I'll read a couple of these poems. It's very sunny today, which is great because I'm going to be walking to work. Poems, and then maybe try to see if I can fit this in. If I can't, maybe I will take this to work. I don't know. We're just kind of seeing what happens here. It's not, there's no rules, nothing set in stone. But I do want to take a book to work, obviously. Mars is coming to work with me today. So that should be fun. Everyone loves him in the office. I should go. Finish just getting ready and not being distracted. Really loving that sun this morning. So nice. I do wish I was still in bed though. It's my outfit today. I wore this on Saturday and knew that I wanted to wear it to work. And today it's sunny, so I thought perfect, let's wear a skirt. I've got my New Balance, which I got last week, so it's time to take them for a spin. She's actually already had a pretty hard go. Just gonna wear this trench coat, even though it's probably, well, it's like a little bit windy outside. black trench coat, and then also I've been lately wearing just a jumper, but as a scarf. It's kind of weird, but it also works. Have been kind of needing an extra layer to take with me to work, but don't really want to wear it and want to be able to take it off easily, and kind of still need it in the beginning. So yeah, this is what I've started doing, and it looks quite cool. And then if you do decide later on in the day that you actually do want to wear it, you can just put it on and it's fine. So yeah, that's the look for today, and I am going to head off to work now. Kia ora. Hello. I've got about 12 minutes before I have to leave for work, so let's do a reading update. This is my boring outfit that I'm wearing to work today. I had another outfit planned, but it's actually freezing, like freezing here. It was so cold overnight. And yesterday when I walked home, I felt like my face was going to fall off, so I've decided to dress a bit more practically today, even though the sun is out, and I really want to wear just like, I don't know, something fun and nice, but I know I have to walk home and it's going to be cold, so I'm going to wear this, which is literally just, I just pushed my pelvis towards the camera, weird. It's black pants. I'm wearing my New Balance trainers and this grey long sleeve, but I will put this on when I get to work. It's just a blue jumper that I will wear as a scarf on the way to work with my jacket, so that I have easily to take off layers. So yeah, that's my boring outfit for today. And reading update. I finished Tayi Tibble's Poukahangatus last night and absolutely loved it. Thought it was brilliant. Just really fun and colourful and cool, and I'm finding that more of this kind of generation of Māori writers is definitely letting go of a lot of that kind of probably traumatic hurt, and forging their own path forward, which is just really awesome to see. It's nice to read familiar stories about your culture and have them be connected to like fond memories and not have them be steeped in painful ones. There is still recognition that like there was hurt, there was trauma, there was wrongdoings, but it's not the central theme of this. This is a collection of poetry about a young girl and her life and her experience growing up and her parents and her heritage, but it's done in her way, and I just loved it. I thought it was really, really fun. She feels very grown up as well. I know she's really young. She's like maybe in her mid-20s, but when she wrote these, she was even younger, I think. Yeah, she's born in 1995. I mean, that's pretty young. But there definitely feels like an old world to this collection that I think is passed down from generations before her, that she obviously wants to honour and hold on to and show how they've shaped her. Really, really brilliant. If you have heard me talk about How to Order a Turf War at all on this channel by Coco Solid, this is a great collection to read in companion with that, I think, because they kind of speak to each other in similar and interesting ways. So yeah, reading challenge is going good so far. We finished 2 books. I did finish another one yesterday. I've been listening to The Palace Papers by Tina Brown on audiobook. I know, rogue, but I've been really craving just a non-fiction audiobook that isn't too flowery or anything that I have to concentrate too hard to appreciate. I recently also listened to Tina Brown's Vanity Fair Diaries and really loved it. So thought I'd give this one a go, and again, I really enjoyed it. I don't think that it's a book that I would have ever picked up to read physically, but listening to it was great. Tina Brown reads it, and yeah, it was like just the right amount of information, but still good bits of writing sprinkled throughout, and like enough of an interesting topic to hold my attention. I wouldn't say I'm like overly interested in the royals, but yeah, it was interesting to learn about the history of this family. I got a question right on the chase because of this book. It's definitely helping me win in life. So yeah, it was just like a bit of gossipy fun. Tina Brown is definitely the only person that would make me interested in that family. So yes, I am on the hunt now for another similar kind of audiobook. I'm thinking about starting The Reader by Fran Lebowitz, because I have that on audio as well. That could be quite a good one. A little bit different, but still kind of non-fiction. She's quite hilarious. I think maybe she reads it. I'm not sure. I hope she would. Anyway, I didn't get a chance to start this yesterday because I was quite busy worrying about my dog in the park yesterday. I wasn't worried about him, but he kept wandering off quite far. And the further away he kept wandering, I was like, if I put my head down for 5 minutes, he could be gone. So I just kept an eye on him. Honestly, I only read like the first page. So that doesn't really count, does it? The plan is to, make a bit more of a dent in this and see how we go today. I think they're quite short chapters, so like I can't imagine this taking that long. It's like 125 pages, so that's my little update. Feeling good so far about this reading challenge. Definitely feeling like the tinies were the way to go. Okay, I'm going to finish packing my bag for work and then head off to work. Bye. Hello. Oh. It's 10 to 7 and I just got home from work. It has been a goddamn day. I tell you that much. It's only Wednesday. Never mind. I am feeling slightly ill. Just like sick feeling. I think I haven't had enough water today. I don't know. It's really annoying because I think I'm hungry, but I'm also just like, food doesn't really seem all that appealing right now. Yeah. Anyway, a little reading update, shall we? I am nearly done with the employees. I am honestly loving this so much. I can already tell that it's going to be a 5-star read for me. I am just really blown away by this teeny tiny book and all that it's offering up. It is, it's really doing it for me. My battery, hold on. So we're back. To try to sum this one up, it is what someone described as me as speculative fiction, which I had no idea what that was. I've heard the term before, but don't ask me what it means. But it definitely has a sci-fi bent to it. It's a novel set on this ship in outer space. On the ship, we have a bunch of workers. We have a mix of human and humanoid workers who are being interviewed in what feels like some kind of round of studies, observations that whoever is in charge has been making of the workers, specifically in relation to the introduction of these objects that have been brought on board this ship that they all work on. These objects are kind of quite abstract and oddly shaped and have different forms and looks and feels and textures and warmths and all that kind of stuff to them. And the workers on the ship are variously in charge of cleaning them, taking care of them, monitoring them, moving them around these rooms. And so the novel was actually made up of these statements that are being taken from different workers, employees, and through that you're kind of learning the atmosphere on the ship, the morale, the feelings amongst the workers, and I guess the differences between the humans and the humanoids and the various ways that they perceive and get satisfaction from the work that they do. A lot of the humans kind of speak about their memories of Earth and parts that they miss. And we're slowly seeing the humanoids kind of develop similar wants and emotions and desires for kind of human feelings and needs. That's potentially not something that the powers that be are wanting. I'm definitely at a point where I think the humanoids are going to unionize and strike against whatever is about to be done to them, which could potentially be like a reset. There are different ways that these things are responding to the objects and these spaces that they're kind of taking care of, and the whole thing is just really fascinating as a kind of depiction of capitalism and the working class and work in general. Yeah, it's kind of speaking to some really interesting stuff that I can heavily relate to at the moment with starting a new job, and I guess coming out of a period where I was really craving, I guess, something more in my work. So yeah, it's a very fun book. There's also an aspect of art to this. This book was written in response to the works of an artist. The artist, I think she might be Danish, is Lea Gulditi Hisselund. Created an installation of works, sculptures, which I think are the objects that are being described in this book. While I was reading it, I was like, these objects are so bizarre and so strange, and I guess I kind of knew that the book was written in response to that installation of sculptures, and so I kind of was like, well, what do they look like? And lo and behold, they look like the objects being described in the book. So yeah, that's kind of a fun visual element to have with the book and be able to draw from, and I'm definitely going to do a little bit more reading about that exhibition, but I just had a quick look at what they look like today, and they're different to what I thought. The overall exhibition is much brighter and kind of colourful and neon than I expected. It's nice to have a visual to these odd things that are causing so much of a response amongst the people in this book. I'm going to try and finish that this evening because I honestly could have really wanted to just keep reading it today, but I had to work. Typical. This is definitely getting a 5-star from me. I don't imagine that it's gonna crash and burn in the last 30 pages. So yeah, I was gonna make ramen, but I honestly don't think I can stomach it and it would be a waste. I might just make a cup of tea
I really feel like I need something. I might eat a banana. Honestly, this is what happens when I just work, and don't do the proper things to take care of myself, like drink water. This being read at a very apt time, where I literally worked like a 9-hour day, and now 9 hours isn't that bad, but it's a lot. It's a lot when you're not used to coming home at 7 o'clock at night, and you're used to being home by like 5. The international art world does not sleep, especially on the brink of like a million art fairs opening next week. I cannot even, trying to wrap my brain around how next week is going to be, other than chaos. Try not to freak out about it. Oh God. Anyway, I'm going to read my book, try to make myself not feel sick anymore. Probably just like have a shower, get into bed, and that's what I'm going to do, to be honest, because I don't really want to do anything else. Hello, it's Thursday, work from home day. I am wearing a full-on grey tracksuit outfit today. I feel like an American high schooler in the 80s getting ready for like PE class. Yeah, it's a work from home day, a bit of a different day. I have to prioritize walking the dog this morning, so I am going to do that, and then I'm going to come back and have some breakfast. But I finished The Employees last night, and like I said, I already knew it was going to be a 5-star, which it was. I just loved it so much. It is doing for me what I would wish all novels would do. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was sweet and funny and had moments of like true sincerity and profoundness without being cringy, which is something that I find really difficult in books like that, where you're examining humanity and what it means to be human, the flaws, the emotions, the honesty. So much of that kind of stuff ends up becoming just unbearable to me when it's written about in stories, or like tries is attempted to be woven into stories. This did it perfectly. It was able to use the kind of roboticness of these humanoids and their lack of being human, and kind of learning all these things as a way to break these really simplistic human emotions down into quite binary, matter-of-fact ways of being, and I just loved it. It is exactly the way I want those kinds of things to be presented to me in a book, and yeah, it didn't make me cringe, it made me smile. I loved the element of art, and I read a little bit more about the exhibition. The book was actually written originally as a piece to go alongside this installation artwork, and what it ended up becoming was a published book, and originally started as Olga Ravn wanting to write a story about the people working in the gallery taking care of these objects, which is what we are seeing in this book. Being able to read that and kind of understand more the response that Olga Ravn had to the exhibition and how she interpreted it was really great. I'm assuming that it's like widely known that this book is related to that show, but I don't know, if anyone that doesn't know that and hasn't read it, I'll leave an article that I found, Q&A, with the writer. So I'll leave that in my description box below. Really, really loved this a lot, and am excited for her other book, My Work. Loved it, 5-star, top of the list for the year. Feeling really good about my reading now that I've read a 5-star. Gonna take the dog for a walk and maybe get a coffee on the way. Hi. It's Friday. Yay. I'm so happy that it's the weekend. Just got one more day of work to go. Fridays is actually a bit of a weird one in the office. Yeah, people seem to kind of just jet out quite early, so that's great for them. Not so good for me because I have not really been able to do that. There's always been kind of things to do on Fridays. So yesterday I started and then kind of tried to continue reading this last night. Don't know whether it's like the right kind of gear shift. It's a bit hard kind of getting into this one. This book is made up of 3 parts. It's made up of 2, I guess, photo essay collections. The photographs are taken by Kontos. And then the first part is the actual essay by Rachel Cusk about this specific island in Greece, maybe near the Aegean Sea. Yeah, it's a marble-bearing island, and she is kind of just talking about it and describing it and talking about the properties of marble, but not in what they're physically made up of, kind of how they're produced and under what conditions and what that means and how that kind of speaks to their timelessness. Speaks to its timelessness. She is speaking about it as if it's a person, which is interesting considering what a lot of marble is used for, statues. It's interesting. It's like okay at this point. I did kind of catch myself kind of drifting off a bit, so I had to kind of go back and read it again or read parts again. I think I'm about halfway. It's not a long essay. It's like 20 pages, so I'm gonna take that with me today, try to finish it. I mean, the rest of it is just photographs, but there are also descriptions and passages, captions about each work or each image, and it's basically just like really long captions for each image. So that one's probably going to get finished today. I did think I would do it yesterday, but I didn't really have the capacity. I think I am going to take this with me today though as well, because I do want something a bit more novel-y to get through. So I'm going to take this, and potentially we'll get to work early enough today that I can sit and read this for a bit before I start work. That is my Friday morning update for you. Saturday, I'm going to get a haircut. Kind of liking what it's doing in the front, but hate what it's doing in the back, so need him to fix that. I'm like very close to finishing this. Kind of annoyed that I didn't finish it this morning, but I'm gonna maybe go down to my hair appointment now, and finish the last, honestly, 3 pages of this book. Cut, done, really love it. I feel like it's exactly what I wanted. We are off to a garden centre, is that what it is? A garden, so we're going for a walk. It's not a garden centre, it's like... But it's a garden. It's public gardens of some sort, and we're going to go for a walk and take this guy who just threw up multiple times, but seems pretty happy overall. We're going to go for a walk. It's a beautiful day, and it's officially spring, so let's go look at some flowers. Look at Mars, live a life. I hope it doesn't fly. Hello. Back home. I've actually been back home for a little while, but this time I've sat down to think about talking to you. Yeah, it's been a nice morning. Had a good time at the hairdressers. Obviously got my hair cut. Probably doesn't look that different to you. He did style it different today, which I wanted something a little bit more kind of wavy and French and chic. I was kind of sick of the straightness of it. Yeah, and then we went to the gardens. That was super lovely. Did a nice little walk. But Mars had a good time. So did we. We then came home and I popped out for a bit because I had to pick up a few things. I picked up a couple of pairs of pants that I was getting altered at the tailor. Has become my new kind of thing, is slowly going through my wardrobe and just taking things to the tailor that need to be altered in some way so I can get more use out of the clothes that I have in my wardrobe. I also picked up a new handbag. It's not new, it's new to me. It's a vintage handbag that I purchased last week online and couldn't go in to pick it up until today. And I'd honestly been feeling a little bit sick about how much I'd actually spent on it. After today, after picking it up, I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. This bag is perfect, it's beautiful, it's exactly what I wanted. I'm so happy. I picked up this vintage and Demure Meester bag today and I'm very happy. I know it doesn't look like much, but it is exactly what I wanted. I've been looking for like an everyday handbag for a while. I really wanted something brown, but the bag that I wanted is literally $6,000 US and can't find anything that's similar, so yeah. This is kind of my version of like a wannabe Birkin bag, but the way that Jane Birkin kind of wore it. That's the look I'm going for. Very, yeah, used, slouchy leather, kind of overstuffed. I probably won't be overstuffing this, but I wanted it to have that kind of overstrap, handled look, and I feel like this does that. It's the same kind of vibe. Very happy with my purchase. Indeed. It's not broken, I just didn't close it properly. We're just not going to talk about how much it cost me, okay? I mean, if you're going to compare it to a Birkin, in comparison, this was a steal. Girl math, we saved money by buying this bag. Anyway, I finished Marble and Metamorphosis by Rachel Cusk. I have a bit of an issue with how prominent her name is on this book because literally her essay takes up this much of the entire book. Like, that much is her, the rest is the photographer, and then also there's an afterword, which is about that long. So, yeah, definitely needs to be like revised as to how much play she gets on this cover here. And if I'm being completely honest, her essay in this was okay. I feel like she definitely tried to philosophize, overthink, and maybe even in some parts overwrite the subject that she's writing about. I don't feel like she kind of offered any expertise or any interesting insights into the topic. She's kind of just doing what Rachel Cusk does, where she travels somewhere, she observes, and then she writes about it, which I don't feel like she really was all that interested in this, to be honest. And so the end result was very lackluster. The rest of it, however, is mostly a photo essay by Kontos, and they come with captions, but the captions are all very informative, very interesting. A lot of it talks about, the first part talks about this island where one of the largest marble quarries exists, and about the kind of prestige of the island, that it is mostly made up of residents who are sculptors in marble, that there's a school there that people travel to learn how to handle marble and sculpt it. It highlights a couple of artists who work in marble, and obviously paired with some really stunning imagery. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then the second part of the photo essay is more of the architecture and where it is used throughout Greece and its history, going way back, like since the very first mentioned history of marble and the art of sculpting it and using it in architecture and for statues and stuff. So very informative, but really interesting. The hugest appreciation for marble. I actually really enjoyed this, despite my not really enjoying the Rachel Cusk part. It's another book done. We are gonna continue with Sweet Days of Discipline, which I did start yesterday. I didn't get very far in, but it is feeling like a bit of the little part that I did read felt quite quick and propulsive, and I don't know, I'm just keen to get back to it because I was quite enjoying the voice, and then I had to go to work. I'm gonna go do some more reading, maybe sit in the sun and do it because it's actually quite lovely. Thought I would do a little reading update. I am halfway through this little book, and so far I am not enjoying it. I don't know whether it's the translation, but well, it must be, because the language in this is quite odd to me. I kind of read a sentence and think, that's not how I would have thought it should be worded, or like the order of words seems a little bit kind of arresting at times, or like stops you in your tracks. Sorry, I've just cooking dinner, so that was my timer. So yeah, it's kind of weird. But the story follows basically a young, well, I don't really know exactly when she's telling the story from, but it feels like in her older age. She's kind of recalling her years. This unnamed narrator is recalling her years at boarding school, particularly at this one school where she has been sent. She's been sent to many boarding schools, but it's one school where she meets a girl named Frederique and becomes very fixated and obsessed with her. It kind of feels a little bit like My Brilliant Friend, but gay. There is definitely more of a one-sidedness to this relationship. You're not hearing the inner, deeper thoughts of the other girl at all. It's just coming from the narrator, and so it is quite obsessive. And it's building. It's definitely building. I don't know. I find it hard with books that like talk about, write about obsession and just how like uncaptivating these stories are. Like nothing about it feels obsessive to me. Like there are certain parts of it that do, but overall it's kind of just like, oh, this is what it's like to be a girl and have a best friend that you're kind of obsessed with, but also like you're competitive with them and you're also a little bit scared of them. You feel insecure. Like, I don't know, these things that are kind of talked about and kind of framed in this book as like being desire or this kind of queer longing all just feels a bit like what female friendship is to me, or how it has been in the past. But yeah, it's like quite a short book. I'm halfway. It feels like it's a bit of a slog to get through it. It's not as easy as it was when it first started. Like the deeper she kind of goes into talking about this character, the more kind of like hard it is to follow her, which, you know, potentially is her just falling deeper into this obsession. That is that book so far. I don't know if I'm going to finish it today. I don't know if I really want to. I'm kind of keen to start something else, but I don't want to do that either. I'm going to push through because I feel like if I pick something else up, I probably won't finish that. Yeah, I've only got 50 pages to go, which is not a lot if I really, you know, just like apply myself to it. I am gonna plate up this dinner. Rupert has just taken Mars for a walk, so they should be back soon, hopefully. And I think we might watch a movie tonight. The home. Perfect timing.
Good. Driveway.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, bud.
It's time to end this vlog. I finished this today and honestly, what the fuck? I don't know what happened in this book. I don't quite understand the ending. Yeah, it started off strong. I was positive about it. And then it quickly kind of just got boring. There was no real personality to the main character. It's as if the personality that she seemed to have at the beginning disappeared throughout the book. Hello. Good boy. Yeah. Well done. This is the reward he gets for eating his food. He gets high praise for doing something that most dogs don't even have to think about. Yeah, so these students are kind of like ghosts, I guess, which is the part that I thought towards the end. I was like, is this a ghost story? And the more I think about it, the more it kind of makes sense, the way that it ended up, but also at the same time, I never really understand when like characters devoid of any kind of personality or human, just personality. I don't understand that as a plot device. It just seems inevitable that the reader is going to get bored. So yeah, I'm interested to read a bit more of Fleur Jaeggy, but I've heard that she quite enjoys those themes, kind of like coming of age stories where young women are kind of left to their own devices, but as a result kind of left without proper forms of care. Bit of a dud end to the old reading challenge, but oh well. Overall, it's done its job. It's got me out of a weird little reading slumber, and I feel like I'm keen as to just be reading again, so yes, very excited about that. I thank you all for watching this vlog, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.